well, as I'm sure you've just seen, I'm having BLTs for dinner. This will be my third BLT. I already had two before this, but I'm saving those 4 pieces of bacon for breakfast tomorrow morning. Because, you know, what's breakfast without a little bacon, you know? And this has a decent amount of bacon on it. But, that's the best one yet. The other two that I had were pretty good, but this was, oh man. That was a good BLT. This time, instead of using the chest mount, I'm using the head mount. So it's up on my head. Just because I thought for cooking that might be a little bit better. Get it a little bit higher, but also just turning and looking at things. With the chest, you kind of have to turn the whole body to look at things. Whereas with the head, I can just not worry about. It's more accurate to where I'm actually looking. I kind of realized that when editing the footage of me looking for that wasp, was I'd be like looking over here, but the camera would still be recording straight ahead because obviously the camera isn't following my eye line, whereas with this it clearly is. So that was delicious. The weekend went up and saw my girlfriend Carly in DC. It was a great time. We celebrated our 4-month anniversary and we had really good food and I got pretty drunk. Currently what we're doing is setting up a little digital calendar type thing. I've been getting a lot of ads, as I've mentioned, on Instagram for this one in particular. I can't remember. It's like Daylight or something like that. That is like $150 or something. I think it's more than that. That basically looks identical to like a Google Calendar, but just in a integrated display. And so I thought, you know what? There might be people out there who are interested in a separate solution. And that's what we're gonna do today, using this, this, and this. So basically I have my MacBook down here. I'm gonna show you the setup in a second. MacBook is going to be plugged into the wall and the computer, the monitor, and that's going to allow us to display the calendar, whatever's on the PC Mac. We don't say PC when we're talking about Macs. Anything that's on the laptop, on the computer. So it doesn't just have to be for the calendar. It could be for anything. It is a smart monitor, but it's a little bit of an older model, which means that it's a little bit out of date in the functionality. So I figure this isn't that much of a trade-off where like, would it be worth it to buy just a monitor that doesn't have any smart features on it? But we don't use this TV anyway. It's in our kitchen, as you can see. We don't use it anyway, so we're gonna mess around with it and maybe find a use for it. This is a smart plug. This should be, or will be used, hopefully, to cycle the TV on and off. That way, I don't know if that'll work. I feel like the TV is modern enough that when you turn the power to it back on, it doesn't just turn on the TV, but I don't know. We'll see. Again, all of this could work. All of this could not work. We're just experimenting, doing a project to see what happens. And then this is just a stand for the laptop. And hopefully we'll try and organize it in a way that makes it look a little nice. And the theory is that this will allow us to turn off the TV on and off without having to touch it, without having to touch a remote. That way the calendar can turn on in the morning when I would like be down here making breakfast or something, and then turn off at night when nobody's gonna be down here looking at it, so that we're not wasting electricity. That was more of an important feature if we were going to do it up in my bedrooms, that there's not just a TV on in my room all night, because I don't know how people sleep with a TV on, if I can be perfectly honest with you. But and then the little stand came with a little cable management sticker thing, so we're gonna try that out. Okie dokie. So what we've got going on here is TV is booting up, which has taken a hot minute. As I said, it's an older computer, or sorry, an older TV. This is an older computer, certainly. That's sitting on something. This is just a cord. There's a little sticker underneath there. We've got our cord coming out of the TV ready to go. We've got the smart plug plugged into the TV that is currently not connected to Wi-Fi or anything. So the only way to turn it on and off currently is with the button on the side. So theoretically, we will mirror whatever's on this screen onto here and then close this. There's a clamshell mode for MacBooks that you can close it and it will still be running and outputting a display. So that theoretically, it's more of like a dock mode. So currently, this appears to be working. So we're gonna go ahead and plug in our display port. And I have had issues with that specific port on this laptop in the past. So that has gone black, which I assume means that it's outputting now. Wow, can we mute that? Ooh, that is a sticky button. There we go. So that's how this would theoretically work. Is that in focus? Looks like it is. So that's theoretically how this would work, except for the fact that we want this to be mirrored rather than just extended, so that whatever's on here is on here. So what we're going to do is go into System Preferences. We'll go to Displays, and we want Show Mirroring Options and Menu Bar when available. Arrangement, I believe is what we want. Correct. And we want to mirror displays. Perfect. So theoretically, we'll see if this works because sometimes it doesn't. We will, and this would remain plugged in the entire time. We wouldn't unplug this. We're going to close this, and this should be clamshell mode, is what they call it, where this is closed, yet it's still outputting a display. And if you had you would need a wireless mouse or keyboard, because obviously you can't access those with the lid closed. So we're going to close that. Appears to still be working. Now, obviously, we can't do anything. We can't control the computer because we don't have a wireless mouse or keyboard down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this back up. The displays should then reset so that both of them are on. Wait for it. And bingo, excellent. So now the real question is, if we turn off this smart plug, that's the final question, is for full functionality is what we're looking for. This functions perfectly. Obviously, we just need to fix whatever's going on with the charger. I think we just need to flip over the plug, but that'll turn off the computer. That's why I'm not doing it right now. The display works, the clamshell mode works, everything's working great. The only thing we need to do is test if this power plug, if we turn it off, simulating a wireless signal telling it to turn off, whether that will... Obviously, the TV will turn off because it won't have power anymore. The question is, when we turn it back on, will the TV turn back on by itself and go to this screen? Or will it just not turn on at all, which is what I suspect will happen. So we're going to go ahead and hit off on the smart plug. TV has now turned off. This recognizes that no display is connected anymore. That's why it just went black for a second. We're going to turn this back on. The TV is now receiving power again. The red light is on at the bottom, solid. The light is now blinking on the bottom of it. It is recognized that there is a signal being received from the cord, yet the TV has not turned back on by itself. The laptop is sending a signal, but the TV isn't on yet. TV is now on. But we do have to select HDMI 1. Looking for a signal. No signal. Is it on? Question mark. And we're back connected. So what I want to see now is maybe, just maybe, there is a setting of some kind that will allow us to limit the stuff that it can do. Like allowing it, so TV inputs. Let's see what's on here. That just has those options. We can remove options. Let's check system. Power on, HDMI 1. Standby LED is on. Fast TV start is disabled. Fast TV knows to quickly start your TV from standby and wake the TV with commands using a voice remote or Roku mobile app. Interesting. So we're going to go ahead and turn that on because we just want it to power on faster. And now that we've set the automatic power on action to go straight to HDMI 1, it will boot up. Now we could choose last used TV input, and that would go, wherever we have had it last. What I want to see, allow other devices to automatically switch the TV to use it as the active source. When an HDMI connected device goes to sleep, your device will go to sleep. So what we have going for us now is when we turn off the TV, we set up that fast mode, so theoretically it should boot up a lot faster. Shouldn't have to load anything, but even if it doesn't load up super quick, it is going to load straight into our HDMI mode, which means that by turning on the TV, it should immediately come back to the computer. Oh, has sensed it, it is detected, and there we go. So this is all working perfectly. Obviously the smart plug thing didn't quite work, but that's okay because, we've got a remote to turn off the TV anyway. We'll use a smart plug for something else in the future, I'm sure, but I'm glad that 90% of this thing that I wanted to set up works. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to cable organize a little bit, use the little stand, make sure that the computer's plugged in and actually charging. That way, if I do want to use the computer for something at some point, it's not like completely dead as soon as I unplug it. So we're going to figure out that. I'll be back and show you the kind of like finalized setup, if you will. So this is what we came up with. It's pretty slick. I kind of like it. But yeah, I'm trying to make this quick because I don't have a lot of storage left on this SD card, and I need to go empty it upstairs before I record the end of the video. But it works great. The power on the computer is kind of f***ed, so we got to figure that out. But that's it. We'll figure it out some other time. That'll be next week's video. All right. I'll see you in a second upstairs. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's vlog. Hopefully the GoPro footage turned out all right of me making BLTs, and hopefully the setting up of that weird digital calendar thing worked out all right and looked cool. What I was talking about downstairs was there's some issue with the battery in the laptop, I think, or the charger. I'm not sure which. I have another charger that I'm going to try at some point. But there's some issue, not quite sure what it is, but the computer isn't charging. It's just getting power from the power supply. So it's a little bit weird. We'll figure it out, I'm sure. But as of right now, it's working perfectly as I wanted it to. The one thing I forgot to do was turn off the kind of screensaver. Is it switched to the screensaver mode, which showed up on the TV, and I went, well, hold on a second, that's not quite what I wanted. So we'll have to figure that out, but other than that, it should be perfectly fine. And I did test it. I put things in my calendar on my phone, and they popped it there like almost immediately, which was really cool. Because sometimes with that sort of stuff, you have to wait a second for it to populate into the cloud or whatever. But it did it like almost immediately, which was really cool. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and edit this vlog. Actually, I have it pulled up right now, and I will see you guys in the next one. But if I don't, have a good one. Peace.